Thank you again for joining us here. This is honestly been an amazing year for me. It's almost surreal. After living through 2 years of the pandemic, where we were all sheltering in place and left alone, missing our meeting with our brothers and our sisters around the world. Suddenly, the pandemic is over, and in the last year, I have been traveling the world, as Dan has spoken to you about. We are, I've had the honor of representing us at the meetings of on a mission to Israel with the Conference of the Major Jewish Organizations here in the United States. And we've been on, as you saw in the videotape, missions to Dubai, Bahrain, an incredible mission with a delegation to Saudi Arabia, a great delegation to meet with Pope Francis, and that was one of the most highlights of my life. And most recently, I've had the opportunity to visit our brothers and sisters in New Zealand and Australia, and I hope some of them are with us this morning. There, it's Sunday, it's Monday morning in Australia, and it helped them at their triennial meeting to inaugurate their new president. I come from humble beginnings from San Antonio, Texas. And I'm following the footsteps of my father and my uncles, who were very active in B'nai B'rith there. And I really got involved after I got out of law school and began practicing law in Houston through B'nai B'rith senior housing. You'll hear more about later today. My aunt lived in Goldberg B'nai B'rith Towers, and the gentleman, Jerry Ribnick, his name is a blessing to all of us, was a leader there, helped found the building, and asked me if I would consider being on their board. I served on that board I still serve on that board almost 30 years later. I've been president, served as every office. The fulfillment that I get being on that board and seeing the difference we make in the lives of our few hundred residents that live there is what drives me. And that's really what drove me to get more active in B'nai B'rith. Our past president, Moshe Smith, invited me to serve on the executive board, and I was honored to have that opportunity. I watched, I learned, as Dan mentioned, I've had a number of leadership roles in B'nai B'rith, and had the opportunity to serve you in many ways. Serving as president, though, is a much bigger role, and it is time-consuming, but it is so worth it and incredibly fulfilling. Traveling like I have, I've had the opportunity to visit with so many B'nai B'rith members around the world, and the one thing that has come across loud and clear is that we're all the same. We're all the same people. We all love Israel. We all are deeply part of our Judaism. We live our Judaism in everything that we do in our daily lives. And we love B'nai B'rith and the opportunity it gives us. B'nai B'rith was started 179 years ago, and we'll be celebrating the 180th anniversary next year. Humble beginnings in New York City, where you had Jewish immigrants from around the world who found themselves in a strange land and had to deal with helping the Jewish community. And they came up with a way to raise money to help widows and to help orphans to survive in the new world and in a time of need. And it's that drive to help others that has been the focus of B'nai B'rith, and one of the things that makes us special and unique, in that there are lots of Jewish organizations, but we're the only one that has such a diverse, wide portfolio. We were at the founding of the United Nations, and we have served there and have offices both in New York and in Paris and in Geneva. And we work closely with them on multiple levels, both fighting anti-Semitism and most importantly, fighting for Israel, supporting Israel in a lot of ways. And I've had the opportunity to travel to all those places and represent B'nai B'rith on missions. And it's very humbling and fulfilling to have an opportunity to sit down with important ambassadors from around the world and share with them. I mean, I had the opportunity to meet with ambassadors who've never met a Jewish person who never met someone talking about Israel, and to be their first touchstone, their first opportunity to share our feelings and our views was just, it's something unimaginable. It's really interesting how all of our communities around the world, we've expanded from New York to all 6 continents, and each lodge, every locale, we were very decentralized. And so every lodge has had a way to build its own community, to build its own value to that Jewish community in that city or town. And that is something, again, that sets us apart. Growing up in San Antonio, I remember my father and my uncle doing ride-alongs with the San Antonio Police Department on Christmas Eve, so that the local police officers more of them could spend time at home with their families, and we would help by providing backup and support to the police of San Antonio. We have lodges that have bowling leagues, have golf leagues, have make regular hospital visits. It's incredible what we do in the B'rith. And the interesting thing is that through the opportunity, I've had the opportunity to do other travel I've done, and the opportunity to meet so many of you. It's been both inspiring and very thought-provoking. Lodges have all aged unevenly. I recently had the opportunity to travel to Denver to help them celebrate their 150th anniversary. Yes, there were Jews 150 years ago in the United States, wild west of Colorado, and they started a B'nai B'rith chapter. And that's how we began around the world. And they celebrated their 150th. And I usually go to give an inspiring speech. And I will tell you that they inspired me. And they had old members, young members, all working together. The vibrancy in Denver is something that I hope to be able to share more with you and help take a cutting from Denver and transplant that around the world as we rebuild our communities. We have a great opportunity to be able to create new ways to make B'nai B'rith relevant in the years ahead. As I mentioned before, the pandemic left us alone. We have feeling alone and looking for ways to connect. The young people were probably hit the hardest as they were starting out in life and needing to find ways to, left alone. And now with the pandemic being over, they're looking for ways to connect with their Jewish community. Things have changed. They are working 24/7. They're connected to their jobs, unlike any generation before them. They're starting their families later. They have a fear of commitment. They have so much going on in their lives. The old days of having a lodge where you met every Sunday to get together and do something, whether it's golf, bowling, or just have a meeting and a speaker, doesn't fit into their lifestyle. They're afraid of that type of a commitment. So we have to back off on what we ask of new young members, and look for ways to engage with them to create new communities that will be meaningful to them. They don't connect through synagogues like when I was growing up, and a lot of you were growing up for a lot of reasons, some good and some bad reasons. But we have this tremendous opportunity. The thing, again, about our portfolio is there's a place for everyone. If you're interested in world politics and in the United Nations and supporting Israel, we have that for you. We have that for you in spades, and opportunities to do that on the front line. If you're interested in serving senior citizens and making a difference with, honoring thy father and thy mother, we have that too. We have, and of course, our disaster relief that is terrific, and there's always a need that crops up anywhere in the United States and around the world as climate change is causing more and more complex disasters. Finally, as you heard from Ambassador Lipstadt, anti-Semitism has reared its head in the ugliest way possible and is continuing to grow at an exponential rate. And we have to stand together to protect ourselves and to fight back and put the genie back in the bottle as best we can. And it is that, talking with a lot of the young people that I've talked with, that is something they're very concerned about. And as we all watch what goes on in Israel, we have to all appreciate the fact that what happens in Israel affects all of us. And as one of the forms of anti-Semitism, as Ambassador Lipstadt referred to, is being an anti-Zionist. And let's be real, that's simply another code word for being anti-Semitic. And we have to find a way to help young people to fight that. And we can do that through, again, engaging with them and helping them become part of our community. Our dues are low. So that engaging and being part of B'nai B'rith is not a financial issue. It's really about helping them to create the time and the space in their lives for B'nai B'rith. So what we've been talking about, and you're going to hear a lot more about, is the opportunities to create communities in places like Houston and rebuild our organization here and in South Florida and in other places as well. And we're going to do that through, giving them the opportunity to do just 2 things a year: your fundraiser and a fundraiser and a Tikkun Olam project, that we can make a difference locally, and that they can choose, they can create, do it in their way with the support of B'nai B'rith. We're going to look through helping, the key is initially identifying a core group of young people. The 2 great ways I think we've got the most vibrant paths for that are through family legacy. I'm a legacy. Rob Spitzer, who's on our board, is a legacy. We have some incredible, members who are simply followed the path of their parents. But we also have a great relationship with AEPI. We have a number of members who are former members of AEPI fraternity here in the United States and in the UK. And they have a lot of young men who are looking to continue their connection to the Jewish community. And they're going to bring a large number of their fraternity brothers. So you're going to hear more about that programming coming in the year to come. It's that core group, though, that we're going to identify and start building in different places. And we're also going to bring them, use our 180th anniversary year that's coming up to bring more people in as we celebrate such an incredible accomplishment. You'll hear more about that coming up. We're going to have you're going to begin to see our calendar posted on our website, that you'll be able to go and see generally what's coming up, and then be able to reach out to us, get more information on specific items near you and what are happening. We're virtual today, but all of these celebrations will be live, and we hope to see you there. We hope to have something at one point that will be a gala that will be representative of perhaps some of the old conventions we used to have, and we can all get together and celebrate yesteryear as well as our future and tomorrow. I want to thank you for joining us. I look forward to traveling to a city near you soon. I hope I get a chance to visit with you. Finally, I want to ask you to please, go to our website, hit that contribute button regularly. Our dues help, but they're not enough. And we all have to look for ways to create more contributions and more financial vitality, so that we can build a B'nai B'rith that will last another 180 years. Thank you for your time.